and welcome to our virtual history hike here at EP Tom Sawyer State Park. I'm Emma Faulkner and this is Clinton Joplin, and I hope you guys are bundled up and have your hiking shoes on for this hike we're about to do. So this is our interpretation of the history of the area around here, and if you think of any questions along the way, feel free to ask them and we'll answer them as best as we can.
Well, to get started, we're going to start our history hike hundreds of years ago. So picture the land you see here with the buildings and stuff. Imagine none of that. Imagine just trees, and you have some open fields and everything for the buffalo to roam. A lot of Indians used to use this land as hunting grounds. They used to use our streams as drinking water also. They used to have their bow and arrows and spears. I'm going to show you some artifacts we've actually found here at the park. They actually have some arrowheads that we have found. They used to put these on the end of spears. These smaller ones were used for arrows. Some very fun history there.
So after that, there was a Virginia militiaman by the name of Isaac Height that actually took possession of this land. So we're going to go where we think his foundation of his home might have been. So let's take a look. So Virginia militiaman Isaac Height was gifted this land, around 300 acres, for his service in the French and Indian War.
Now we believe we're at one of the sites right now of the foundation of Isaac Height's family's house. They used to call it Cave Springs Plantation, because actually right over that fence and right down that hill is the cave. Now Isaac Height was injured by some Indians because they still use this land as hunting ground, and he shortly died after his injuries and left the land to his wife and 4 children.
So in the 1800s, they sold this land to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and in around 1871, they started a House of Reform. So we're going to go take a look at where that was. So we just did a short walk across the street there, and we are now at our administrative building, and this was the site in 1871 of that House of Reform. Now at that time they were starting to build other buildings, and in 1873 they actually opened up Kentucky's 4th lunatic asylum, later came to known as Central State Hospital. So if you want to take a moment, we'll look around at some of that concrete pad left over from that House of Reform in the 1800s, and you can take this time, ask any questions that you might have so far. Very nice. So remember, you can stop by here at any time and you can pull in and take a look at some of the foundations that have remained here. So we'll hike on into the park some more and take a look at some more foundations and areas we know have been used. Alright, I hope we're not wearing you guys out on our hike yet. Everyone's still got their energy, blood flowing. So now we are at the site of the administrative building of the Central State Hospital. So this is where people would have pulled in, and this would have been the first area they saw. Now behind you all is our currently shelter 3, but back then it was the site of the Oakwood building, which is an amusement hall. So they would have a dance hall, there was a chapel there, and they would do plays and concerts there for some of the people there in the hospital. And then behind us currently is our Sawyer Hayes Center.
That's where the water tower used to sit, just on the left side if you're looking directly at the Sawyer Hayes Center. And also not too far from there was the energy plant. They used to burn coal to make electric for the hospital. They were very self-sustaining. They were self-sustaining because all the patients they had here did a lot of the work for everything. They cut the grass. They had very intricate flowers and trees as you drove in or you came in into the main building here. They even had the big twin spires like you see at Churchill Downs on that building. We're actually going to walk down the road here, the old Central State Hospital Road, now known as the biking trail. We're going to pan around here, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask while we pan around here to give you a look.
I'll show you some pictures of what some of those old buildings would have looked like before they all got demolished in 1966, we believe 1996. We're on the original hospital road now, so we're going to hike down it, and you might see some rubble along the sides, and that's just remains from where the old dormitories used to be, and the kitchen and the laundromat separate areas. And we'll hike along and we'll see some more old sidewalks that the patients and workers used to walk on as well, and see what might have been around that area. Come on.
Now we've made our way over to some of the original sidewalks of the hospital. This actually used to go around, all the way around to the superintendent's house. We'll make our way over there in just a second. They used to have an arboretum here, and that means they used to label trees. You'd have a map, and you'd walk around and find the different numbers, and it would tell you what sort of tree that was. There's still actually numbers out here that are left over from the hospital arboretum. We're going to walk on down and see what we can find on down the sidewalk. So follow me. All right, just right off the sidewalk here, looks like there used to be maybe a statue or maybe a bird bath they had here. So if you can imagine a real intricate bird bath or a statue, had flowers around, maybe that holly tree came into play with it, and it was all real pristine because the patients kept everything super clean, just like a mansion garden or something like that. So I'm gonna step away and let y'all view this. Now I'm standing right in the middle of the superintendent's driveway. It actually led right off the Lakeland Road there, came right back there to his house. I'm going to put up a picture so you can see what his house used to look like. And then we're going to go down here. We might go right past the general store up here where guests used to leave patients money on their bill so they could spend money at the general store. And then we're going to work our way down to the cave. So let's head over that way.
Alright, so here we are at our cave. You can see there's lots of brick on either side. This was all mostly bricked up, and they would use this as a refrigeration. So you might be able to hear that stream of the water flowing underground next to you, and that's really cold water. So you can kind of see, we'll take a closer look carefully, it's a little slippery here. There's a little bit of a divot dug out here, and that's where you would put your milk jugs and things you want to keep cool. You just set it down in there, and that cold water would keep it cool. So who all do you think used this cave?
I bet the Indians used it, but the Isaac Heights family used it. The hospital definitely used it. It's like, you know, nature's icebox or refrigerator. I'm going to take you all inside. We're going to see a little channel where they would have stuck milk jugs or different kind of preserves into the water to keep it cool. So one at a time. I want y'all to follow me. Just be very careful.
As you're looking in here right now, you can see the different channels here. There's actually a channel here to your right where they used to have their milk jugs in here or whatever food they wanted to keep pure, so the water could run across the jugs and keep it cool and it would stay fresh longer.
Now we're here at what is left of the pump house that used to be ran by the hospital, where they used to pump the clean water up to the hospital so the patients and everyone could have clean water. Now Emma's going to pan around so he can give you a look, but then we're going to take a hike over to see what Nick is doing, and he's going to tell us more about the retention ponds.
Here we are at the first reservoir on the park property. This reservoir was used to retain water that inflowed from several different areas off the hospital property and on the hospital property. Behind me is an old dam structure. The water would build up, and this grate here in front would block all the logs and sticks and debris from getting into that small channel to keep it from clogging up. So they had interest in keeping the channel clear and clean. You can see the height of the dam would allow the siltation in the water to settle down to the bottom. So it's pretty clean, clear water going through that channel. And you can see on the other side over here, we have what's created a wetlands area. There's some ducks that swim around, a lot of waterfowl, even muskrats, a ton of deer come down and visit this area. It's a very nice area that's been created due to this dam structure here.
All right, we just came up from our wetlands trail and our bike trail, and so we came up past our maintenance, and now we are at the root cellar, which was one of the original buildings used by Central State Hospital. As the name might imply, they would use it to store their root vegetables in the bottom of it here. One of the cool features of this, you can see, is like a vent that they would use to try to keep that bottom part circulated and make sure it's cooled down. So if we go up here to the front, you can kind of see how the road here curves down. And that is where they would have their carriage full of their vegetables, and they would drive the carriage down, drive up underneath, patients and workers would unload it, and they would drive back out to the top.
Now we're standing and here one of our maintenance roads. It's not just the park's maintenance road. It used to be the old hospital's maintenance road. They used to line this with this black soot you see right here. They used to call it coal slag because it used to come from the energy supply. They used to burn the coal, and that would steam the water in the turbine, and this would be the residue of the coal burning. So they would use this as a roadway, almost like we do asphalt or concrete or something like that, but they would use that back in the day to make their roadway. This road actually leads down to our cemetery, so we're going to take a short hike down there. We're going to go see the cemeteries, and we'll take another short hike and go see the body vault. So follow me and let's go see what we can see. Now we've made our way down to the cemeteries. It's right off our Goose Creek trail up there. I have a cemetery here to my left. It's a smaller cemetery, but the bigger cemetery here to my right is, we believe, the oldest one. There's not a lot of gravestones. We believe that maybe people back then didn't have a lot of money to buy gravestones. So the ones that we do have, we placed around the tree. Some of them got vandalized and moved, so we still come by here and we appreciate this and hope everybody respects it as they come by it. We're going to walk down. We're going to go see the body vault. So a lot of people don't know about this, so this is a special sneak peek of a virtual hike. So let's go see it.
Alright, so we came around here off the trail and we're at the body vault. As you can see, it looks like there's two sections here. They might have kept a body until they were able to bury it, possibly in the wintertime. And as you can see from the top how it starts to curve, it probably had a rounded top to it there to fully encase that area, kind of protect what was inside. Okay, so we are here at our final stop. We are at the barn. You can see the silo here. We have some greenhouses, and this was used by Central State Hospital as well as JCTC Vocational School used this area. So as you'll be able to see over here to your right is an empty concrete pad where actually a second barn was before it burned down. You can see the frame of a greenhouse back there as well. So JCTC Vocational School was here for a few years, and then it finally officially became EP Tom Sawyer State Park in 1974. So a lot of people ask us what that EP stands for.
It stands for Urban Powers. He was a judge here in Jefferson County. After he died from a car crash, they named this park after him.
Right. So that's kind of the general history here. Hopefully we showed you all some cool things. Now the park gets lots of different use. Thankfully, a lot of the farmland here is able to be used for field play. A lot of different sports and races are able to use a lot of this area. We have our own archery field, we got a BMX track. So the land now has a lot of use as a state park.
Right. We also host huge NCAA cross-country meets here. We have the outside swimming pool and everything now here. A lot of different activities here at the park, like our hikes. Unfortunately, we could not host an actual hike today. We had to go virtual due to the circumstances and everything going on right now. But hopefully soon we'll be able to take people out on hikes again. And we want to know what kind of hikes you want to go on and what you're interested in, so we can take you on the hikes that you would like to go on.
Yeah, so go ahead and leave a comment of anything you're interested in around here, tracks or plant tree ID. And thank you all for joining us and sticking with us through all this. So stay safe, everybody.
See y'all later.